Good evening, everyone, and welcome here for round 12 of the 2019 Sony Cup Series Championship season. And yet again, for this season, we've had a new championship leader, and it is the Yant Motorsports driver of Dylan Young. Young has really had to fight back this season after many seasons being overlooked for the most part for most of the drivers and the teams on the grid. And Young having a stellar season. He's got the point lead, but by only a slim margin over Ryan Griffin, who had been the point leader, and Jordan Davis. 3 points back is Griffin, 6 points back is Davis, but you still have other drivers like John Weeks, Jeffrey Fenguy, Will Lewis. They are all right there in the mix of this for the championship battle, and don't look back now, but Dylan Schwellenberg has moved up to 8th in points. He's a little further behind. Ryan Acosta is your pole sitter for today's race. Acosta has been so good about knocking down some fast laps every race weekend, it seems. And Acosta's on pole. This could be his day to try and get his first win of the season and break a long winless streak. He really needs it, and he needs to get a win to try and make up some points. He's just a little over a race behind. But coming in this race, Mace Enterprises has won all of the Canadian Tour races so far. Now, Mace leads the Mace Enterprises drivers 8th on the grid so far for the starting lineup. Mace, Lamas, they have not won yet this season. Harple and Sanford have gone to victory lane. They're starting a little further back. All the Mace cars are starting in the top 15. Can they sweep the Canadian Tour? We're about to find out. 41 laps of racing today. Getting set and ready to go racing, Ryan Acosta has nothing but a pair of Yant Motorsports cars surrounding him. Allen Family Racing Team and Yant Motorsports have been the class of the field all season. Are they going to win another race? Schwellenberg is looking to get redemption. He thought he was going to get the win at Trois-Rivières last week, but it wasn't going to be enough. Fuel mileage and tire conservation for Sean Harple paid off for him to get the victory there. And a little further behind, Bobby Jones for Hero Motorsports. A great run for them in 5th place for Jones. He's had a very good race weekend so far. He starts in 5th place. Ryan Griffin's there, teammate with Acosta. Fenguy, Dodd, they're all right up there in the mix. Kyle Collins ran very well. He's up there near the top front of the field again. But Acosta, alongside Dylan Schwellenberg, Dylan Young, the point leader in there in 3rd place. 41 laps of racing, round 12 of the championship season, about to get underway again. The final race of the Canadian Tour, it is green. A fantastic start for Dylan Schwellenberg, trying to get alongside of Acosta. Acosta trying to get it back. Acosta really did not get a good jump on the start of the race, and Schwellenberg up the hill, trying to beat Acosta down the hill here. And Schwellenberg is going to take the lead from Acosta, out in the grass just a little bit, and Acosta chokes the lead. Schwellenberg on the front row is going to be your race leader as they go up the hill. As they come around here, this is going to be one of the slowest corners on their whole track, and a good passing opportunity for many drivers. And John Weeks around the outside of Acosta, trying to get alongside of him. But this is where you can really push drivers out, and you do not want to be on the outside lane here because a lot of drivers will get pushed wide, and Acosta kind of runs Weeks a little off the dirt there, but many other drivers do overdrive it. Schwellenberg getting away. Acosta settles in 2nd. 3rd place is Dylan Young. That's where he started. Weeks back to 4th place. Bobby Jones exactly where all the drivers started in the top 5. Jordan Davis had a good jump there. He's looking underneath of Ryan Griffin. Nick Mace has fell down a little bit there with Zachary Fitzwater with a great start to this race. He's into the top 10. A little further back, there's been some contact. Luis Hernandez and James Silverfox have got together. Look at there. Hernandez gets turned to the wall. Silverfox was there. And into the barrier. Oh, and further contact. There's Jesse Turner involved. Hernandez with more damage. And Jesse Turner cannot catch a break. Oh, more contact. Matthew Rodriguez is there. He started deeper in the pack. But many drivers really sideways trying to catch it and get it together. Here's what happened. Turner trying to go up the middle. He hooked Eric DeMax into the slow 4-car of Luis Hernandez. DeMax got it going, but Rodriguez really sideways and loose and almost lost it there. A lot of drivers trying to catch it together. and get it back in line. And a little further back while they were checking up, Chris Louvier gets ran over by Jack Halleck and put in the wall. And around he went. Hernandez again getting a piece. Dom Capps there. He had to take a past Champions Professional. Really close to getting involved in that one. Dylan Young, the championship leader, really messes up the corner here. Lap 2, and Young under fire from his teammate. And Dejon Weeks is going to take third place here as they go down the long back straightaway here as they lead up to the start-finish line. Dejon Weeks takes over the third place. Jordan Davis continuing to work on Ryan Griffin. This is for 6th place. His teammates are a little further up. The Yamp Motorsports cars have been so good. 1st, 3rd, 4th, and now up into 6th place. Nick Mace has got into Ryan Griffin off the course. Mace and Griffin, hard contact, and out of the race. 2nd in the championship, Ryan Griffin. Here it is. Davis and Griffin racing hard. Mace trying to get alongside of Griffin, and I don't know, I'm going to have to look at it again, but they made contact. Mace bounces off of Griffin, and a hard lick for both of them, and out of the race goes Ryan Griffin. Here's another view of it. Griffin, it might have been a little bit of Mace's fault there. Completely. Both of them coming together. And off the course, 2nd race weekend in a row, Nick Mace is really out of it early on in the going. Ryan Griffin the same way. He has not had the luck in the last 2 races, and it's cost him the point lead coming in this round. And right here, Nick Mace trying to get alongside of Griffin. And on this onboard, it looks like Griffin comes over. But in some other angles, it looks like Mace comes over. And hard racing too early to be taking out drivers. Definitely not intentional by either one, but it takes them out of the running. Mace and Griffin will not score points today. However, very early on, Jordan Fisher has made a fantastic move up the field. He is up into 11th place. DJ Curtis sits there in 12th. 13th place is TJ Martin. Last week's winner is right there in 14th. Caleb Hoffman's in 15th. Chris Dodd has fell a little ways back on the start of this race. But right now, some drivers that are trying to move up the order. Jake Bassinger trying to work hard. Jesse Turner trying to scrap as much positions as he can. Turner Performance has struggled massively this season, and it's been very surprising to see that Turner and Bassinger, who are used to winning many races a season, struggle in the first part of the 2019 season. Give a call for Zachary Fitzwater. He qualified very well. We know he's very good on the road courses, and 7th place for Fisher Motorsports. It's a great run right now. He's not able to do anything with Jordan Davis. Davis really messed up that part of the track and allowed Fitzwater to get all over him. And if Mace Enterprises is going to sweep the Canadian Tour, it relies right now on Cody Lamas, and he's got a ways to go in 8th place. Dylan Young going after his teammate again. Yamp Motorsports has really not been able to shake the Allen Family Racing Team cars in terms of raw pace and one-lap speed. Ryan Acosta and Ryan Griffin topped the timesheets for all this weekend. But it is the Yamp Motorsports cars that are overall looking the best. Young, the point leader, trying to get every point he can for this race weekend. Right now, it looks like he's going to be able to keep the point lead unless Jordan Davis can get up there and try and pass Young and get as much points as he can. With Griffin falling out of the race and not getting any points, this could be a day where we see Ryan Griffin fall outside of one race of a distance from the championship lead. Also, first career start for Corey Williams. This is the first ever race he's going to run in the Sony Cup Series. And Williams, he's the point leader in the Hardee's National Series. He's ran so well over there, and he's got a chance to win the championship and the national level. But Williams racing deep in the pack, racing with the blue flare of Nick Piercles right now, deep down the order in 33rd. The Fuel Brothers Racing Toyotas look like they have problems. Matt DeLeo's on pit road, and so is Charlie Smith. Smith actually overshot his pit stall, and that's going to be a penalty for the team trying to work outside the box. Lap car Jack Halleck is actually holding up Dejon Weeks, Bobby Jones, and Jordan Davis. They are bumper to bumper. Who's going to get the best battle here? Dejon Weeks searching for a way to get around Halleck. Halleck is holding up the lane. Everyone else has been able to get by. Here it comes Bobby Jones. He's found a way to get underneath of Dejon Weeks. He's going to get alongside of Halleck as well. And Bobby Jones move him up to 4th place. He has had a stellar race weekend. He's really put something together and moved Bobby Jones up another position. Weeks continues to struggle with Halleck. Weeks is diving out, trying to find a way to get around Jack Halleck here. Davis is a little swirly, trying to get around Bobby Jones. Here comes Fitzwater underneath of Weeks. Weeks has got to be frustrated right now. Fitzwater moves up a position. Fitzwater's up to 6th place. Cody Lamas has moved his way past of Dejon Weeks as well. So Dejon Weeks cannot be too happy. Now it's Fitzwater's time to try and get around the Australian. 2 Australians racing on the bumper here. Where is Fitzwater going to be able to make a move? Here's Finn Guy now underneath of the 38. The top 10 are right here. Fitzwater very close to Halleck. Bumps him a little bit. Trying to get him out of the way. Fitzwater darts to the outside now. They're racing hard to get around Jack Halleck, who has damage from lap 1 incidents. And Fitzwater up into 6th place. Lamas is up to 7th. Weeks continues to struggle with the 90 of Halleck. And he's going to fall down to 10th because Collins moving his way past up into 9th place. But Weeks is trying to fight back. Man, this has been a scrap. And Weeks putting a bumper to the Finn Guy, trying to get around him. Look at Jordan Fisher trying to get into the top 10. Jordan Fisher has not had a top 10 finish since the 2017 Cleveland race. It's been a long time for Jordan Fisher, and right on by the 86 of Kyle Collins. But still, the 90 of Halleck getting his back bumper beat up by the 38 Pedigree Ford. And Collins is able to hold Fisher off. Here comes DJ Curtis. The 90 continuing to hound these drivers. Weeks continuing to struggle. He is down to 10th again. A little further up, Dylan Young's going after 2nd place. Slight contact, a little rubbing. Dylan Young looking to put Yamp Motorsports 1-2. Dylan Young, the championship leader, looking to have a great afternoon. 2nd place right now. He has not won a race in a minute so far. But as it runs, the top 4 have not won a race at all this season. We could possibly have a driver get their first win this season. Dylan Schwellenberg looking for his first win ever. Same with Bobby Jones back there in 4th place. What's going to happen? We're still very early in the race. 40 laps to go. Looking deeper in the pack, you have some good stories and you have some bad stories. Will Lewis is back here. Further down the order, Will Lewis is in 22nd position. And in terms of his championship, it's not looking very good in the championship fight. As of now, Lewis is losing a bit of points for today's race. But right in front of him, Alexander Rowe in 21st position in the Flying Aces Racing entry. Having a great run right now. They've been pretty much solid all weekend. And Alexander Rowe putting a good show right now for the 05 team. Dylan Schwellenberg up front. Lap 16 of 41 continues to hit his marks. However, Dylan Young trying to nip into the lead so far. It is still very much a 3-horse race for this win. Right now, the front 3 have a good distance back to 4th place Bobby Jones, which is about 7 seconds back, with Jordan Davis taking up the last top 5 spot. Cody Lamas is 6th, Finn Guy 7th, Collins 8th. Dejon Weeks has moved his way up into 9th place with TJ Martin now in the top 10. And the reason Martin has moved up into the top 10 is because Fitzwater has fell out of it. And quite literally, out of the race. Zachary Fitzwater, who was having a great afternoon. 6th place he was running. And his Fisher Motorsports Toyota has gone up in smoke. Tough break for Zachary Fitzwater, who was eyeing a possible top 5 run. Another lap car, Chris Louvier, holding up Cody Lamas. Lamas has moved up to 6th place, but he is about 10 seconds off the leader. Lamas looking very loose, but a lot of drivers also looking very loose. Finn Guy off in the grass just a little bit. Here comes Weeks around the outside of Collins, trying to get alongside and take that position back. But Louvier really holding up Lamas, and they go right on by him on both sides. And Cody Lamas has got to be furious with Louvier. That's probably all of the Canadian Tour races. Louvier has been pretty controversial, and been at a talking point. So Curtis trying to get by Louvier now. Wow. While TJ Martin has worked his way up into 9th place, Lamas is down to 10th. Up for long, Cody Lamas powers back by the 71 of TJ Martin, but it looks as though, unless something major happens, Mace Enterprises will not be sweeping the Canadian Tour. Cody Lamas is the highest running Mace car as of now, 9th, 16 seconds off the leader. Problems for Chris Dodd, and Chris Dodd has gone out of the race and into the tire barrier. Chris Dodd was running in the 12th position, but he's gonna follow right out of the race, similar to what his teammate did. Here it is, Charles Sanford, Chris Dodd racing side by side. Jordan Fisher's there too, and Jordan Fisher hooks Dodd and off the course and into the tire barriers, and Dodd is out of the running. Halfway in the race, Schwellenberg still has to hit his marks. Dylan Young, Ryan Acosta is right there. Any slip up from the 28. Well, there's a slip up from Young, a little loose there. And it looks as though dirty air is a challenge at this track. It is not very easy to pass. And Schwellenberg able to hold that 28 car out front for now. But he's led every lap so far. And it's going to be hard to get around it because he's got a good car. And he's going to race very defensively. He's got his teammate behind him, which is probably the best thing to see Dylan Young in your rear view mirror. Out of all the drivers that could probably race you the cleanest, it'll probably be Dylan Young, one of them. He's there in 2nd place with Ryan Acosta right there as well. Any slip up by the Amp cars and an Allen Family Racing Team car could take the victory. The leaders have ran up on lap car Luis Hernandez, and it's actually helped Dylan Schwellenberg to get a gap to the leaders. And Schwellenberg has pulled away from Dylan Young for now, about a second or so over Dylan Young now. Acosta's about a second off of Dylan Young. So Luis Hernandez, old teammate to Schwellenberg, actually helped Schwellenberg a little bit to get a gap from 2nd place. Pit stops are going on. Lap 24 now. Jordan Davis is on pit road a little further back. Jeffrey Fengai is also on pit road. They have pitted early. Some other drivers are actually choosing to stay out a little longer, like Dejon Weeks. Bobby Jones still out there having a good day. The leaders up front, the front 3, have yet to pit. Dylan Schwellenberg has ran up on Alexander Rowe, and he has held him up just a little bit. Schwellenberg is in that dirty air of the 05 of Alexander Rowe. This could be critical. Here comes Young, diving up the inside. Dylan Young up the inside of Schwellenberg. Side by side, this is the first time anyone's been able to get alongside of Schwellenberg to try and take the lead possibly. Schwellenberg trying to fight back, but with the Yamp Motorsports engines under the hood of the 88 and the 28, no chance. Young's able to get by, slight contact with Rowe. Oh, and Schwellenberg hits the 05. Man, Alexander Rowe was so sideways. Very impressive. Alexander Rowe was able to hold on to that. Rowe trying to get out of the way as much as he can. There's Acosta now underneath of Rowe. And right on the back bumper of the leaders. Schwellenberg was led basically every lap up to now. Has dropped to 2nd. And the point leader leads the way. Some more leaders are on pit road. Dejon Weeks is in. Cody Lamas is in. Kyle Collins, Charles Sanford. They're all in. The leaders are making the dive to pit road. Dylan Young is on pit road. Dylan Schwellenberg and Ryan Acosta, the front 3, are now on pit road. They have chose to stay out longer than usual. And we're going to see Bobby Jones is also on pit road. DJ Curtis has also stayed out, but we expect him to pit this time round as well. There's the leaders all on pit road. Dylan Young's going to leave now. Dylan Schwellenberg right behind him, but can Acosta jump him? No, he can't. There goes Acosta now. Bobby Jones also leaving the pits. He actually got a pretty good jump. He's going to beat Jordan Davis out. Bobby Jones is actually pretty close to Acosta here. And Jordan Davis, who pitted early, was not able to jump the 98, but he may be able to down the straightaway. Dylan Young's team did such a good job to get him a good pit stop. Look at the gap he's got to Dylan Schwellenberg. A little further back, Acosta. I thought Acosta had a better stop than that, but he didn't. Bobby Jones is relatively close, and once those tires heat up, I believe he'll pull away from Jordan Davis. Davis was hoping to leapfrog the 98 here, But Bobby Jones and his race team has, oh, slight contact from Davis. Bobby Jones hangs on to it. He's not trying to have another finish like Road Atlanta where he runs in the top 5 and gets wrecked at the end of it. Bobby Jones isn't gonna back down from anybody. The 2-time champion of Jordan Davis has a good chance to become a 3-time champion from the performance he's had this season. But Davis urgent to try and get up there and get as much points as possible. But the championship leader looking to extend the lead, leaving this race. But we still have a handful of laps to go. Right now, we have the good possibility of a good battle on track. Lap cars of Charlie Smith and Chris Louvie are heating up some battles here. But Acosta's all over Charlie Smith, ducking each side, trying to get around him. Bobby Jones is there. Bobby Jones to the inside, looking for 3rd place. And Acosta is going to get caught napping from a lap car. And Bobby Jones is up into 3rd place. What a run this afternoon. And look at this. Finn Guy around the outside of the 41. Finn Guy's able to get around him, but Weeks also getting held up again. Dejon Weeks has not been too pleased with lap cars. Kyle Collins and TJ Martin blowing right by the 38. And Dejon Weeks, now he gets him in the bumper. But Chris Louvier has been a bad lap car for this race at least. He was a bad one at last week's race as well. Dejon Weeks, crucial championship points. He's losing right there. Weeks is down to 9th place. Ryan Acosta still cannot get by Charlie Smith. Bobby Jones is gone. Bobby Jones looks like a 3rd place could be in the cards with less than 10 laps to go. Ryan Acosta still working on Charlie Smith. This has allowed Jeffrey Fingide to get in the mix of this. This is the race for 4th. Davis holds 5th. Whoa, Acosta really wide off of the dirt. But Acosta does manage to get past Charlie Smith. Davis on the back bumper of Smith, almost in the grass. But here comes Fangui trying to make a move on Jordan Davis. Round the outside, Davis still looking for a pass, but Smith covers it off. And now Davis looking for a way to get underneath of the 47. Look at him gets really loose. Fangui does too. Here comes Kyle Collins. TJ Martin off in the grass just a little bit, but Collins is not able to get around Jeffrey Fangui. But as soon as I say that, he pulls alongside. Collins and Fangui drag racing down the straightaway. Who's going to win out of this battle? The Fangui Saitomi car. Looks like it may be able to, but Collins still trying to hang in on the inside. Great racing right here for Canadian. Oh, man. Collins trying to cover him off. Martin trying to hold off Dejon Weeks. And Kyle Collins moves up into 6th place. Trying to get up there and battle to get in the top 5. He trying to get 2 top 5s in a row. But Fangui also losing out on crucial positions right now. Up front for the race lead. It is almost a second now. Schwellenberg trailing his teammate of Dylan Young here. Dylan Young looking to put his first win of the season on the board and extend the championship lead. Dylan Schwellenberg looking to get into the battle. However, it won't be this race. It'll be less than the race, especially with the way Young has ran. Young, the championship leader, has had a great afternoon. And he's looking to put a statement victory down, but he's going to have to hold off a promising driver, new driver on the team, Dylan Schwellenberg. He led a lot of the early part of the race, and he's looking to not finish second again. Lap cars ahead of Dylan Young are racing for the 26th position. John Hart, Johnny Gardner, they are racing for position. Young, this is going to be a very bad spot. He runs wide. Here comes Dylan Schwellenberg on the back bumper, looking to the outside. They're going to go side by side. As they come to the start-finish line, it'll be 5 or 6 laps to go. They are side by side. Young's not in a very good position. Gardner is going to be in his way. Schwellenberg trying to power by the 2 Yamp cars. Side by side for the lead. Young trying to hang it around the outside. Trying to keep it alongside of Schwellenberg. Can't do it, but Gardner is still in the way slightly. But looks like Schwellenberg may be able to get him here. Dylan Schwellenberg back to the point here in Canadian Tire. Jordan Davis ran wide, further behind. And Jordan Davis is in trouble. He's going to lose 5th to Kyle Collins. And looking for 6th, Jeffrey Fangui. championship rivals door to door. And Fenguy trying to get this 6th place. Davis is ran very solid all day, but he's under fire. Jeffrey Fenguy up another position. Lap cars racing in front of the 5th place car, Kyle Collins. This could be very hairy in the closing stages. Collins, Fenguy, Davis, Weeks, Martin, Lamas. That's the top 10, with Curtis and Sanford knocking on a top 10 run. But here comes Collins around the outside of Halleck, stuck behind the 47, who's relatively up the speed of Charlie Smith. Collins is going to have his hands full to hang on to that last 5th place. How in the hell did you get there, Corey? Dylan Young, the leader, punts Corey Williams off the course, and Williams out of the racing line, off the course, and Corey Williams in his first Sony Cup Series race, the Hardys point leader right now. A very rude awakening for the Sony Cup Series, and Williams is out. Acosta looking for 3rd place, trying to get it back from Bobby Jones. Bobby Jones held up from Nick Garricles, and it looks like Ryan Acosta is going to get this position relatively easily, and now clears him for 3rd place. Here it is here, trying to get a better view. Dylan Young and the contact with Corey Williams, looking for a way past, and just some slight contact, and the 33 goes off the road. Davis trying to get to the inside of Fenguy. Looks as though he's going to be able to. Trying to get alongside Collins as well. And Jordan Davis is going to go from 7th to 5th, back into the top 5. Fenguy underneath of Collins, trying to get 6th place. And similar to how Jordan Davis did it, Davis actually goes off the course a little, holds everyone up, and Fenguy moves up into 5th place. DJ Curtis further back, challenging Cody Lamas. Curtis has been in 11th for most of the day, and he's trying to get a top 10 finish out of this. And the two-time champion of DJ Curtis, who has had very miserable luck in the 8 car ever since switching to Curtis Racing. He's looking to get a top 10 day out of this, but Lamas is trying to not give it away and trying to hold on to 10th. Still side by side. Curtis, the 2 Chevys, door handle to door handle, side by side. Fenguy trying to check out for that battle for 5th. Davis and Weeks 6th and 7th. But Curtis not able to get around Lamas for now. As we come back to the line, it'll be 2 laps of racing to go. Schwellenberg does not have that big of a gap on Dylan Young. Young and Schwellenberg, how are they going to race each other for the win of this race? Schwellenberg looking for his first Sony Cup Series win ever. Dylan Young looking for his first of the season. He is right on the back bumper. Any slip up from Schwellenberg, Young's going to take this victory. Little further back, Ryan Acosta is pulled away now from Bobby Jones. Fenguy holds 5th place comfortably. Weeks is now up to 6th place past Davis. But for the win of this race, John Art could play a role in who wins this. Art is being a bad back marker right now. Schwellenberg looking to get by. Young, this could be a passing opportunity for him. Schwellenberg a little loose. Here comes Young to the inside, but he's a little loose as well. Not able to get the power down. Not able to get alongside of him. Schwellenberg still holds the lead. They continue to race so hard. This is for 6th place. Charlie Smith really has a train going. Look at Lamas. He was in danger of falling out of the top 10. Curtis has knocked Martin out of it. Curtis is into the top 10. Lamas is up into 8th place with that pass on Kyle Collins. And look at the Yamp cars of Weeks and Davis racing hard, trying to work together to get around the 47. And Dajon Weeks finally looks like he's going to get around him. But for the lead of this race, the white flag is out. Final lap, Dylan Schwellenberg holds about half of a second on his teammate of Dylan Young. Man, it's only been a handful of races now. This is going to be the 5th race that Dylan Schwellenberg has been in the Yamp Motorsports ride, and this could be his chance. Leading teammate Dylan Young, the championship leader, looking to get max points today. He is right there. Any slip up from Schwellenberg, and he is there. Young's there. Can't get there enough, though. And that might have been it. Young cannot get the power down to get alongside of this teammate of Dylan Schwellenberg. 2 Dylans. One of them trying to come on top. But it looks as though it's going to be the Rockstar Ford of Dylan Schwellenberg. rounding the S's, final turns, Dylan Schwellenberg, the 2017 Hardy's champion, is going to be a winner in the Sony Cup Series. Rounding the final corner, Dylan Schwellenberg wins for Yamp Motorsports. And finally, Schwellenberg puts it to bed and shows everyone what he's made of. Takes the win, Dylan Young second. Third place, Ryan Acosta. Fourth place, Bobby Jones. Fifth place is going to go to Jeffrey Fengai. Sixth is going to be the 38 of Dejon Weeks. Seventh, Jordan Davis. Eighth, Cody Lamas. Ninth place goes to DJ Curtis by barely over Kyle Collins. Well, that is your top 10 finishing results, finishing drivers of the final Canadian race of the season. Dylan Schwellenberg, who was so close to a win at Trois Rivières, he finally gets it. Hardy's National Series champion. He worked his way up the ranks into the Sony Cup Series now. And it wasn't a matter of if, it was a matter of when for Dylan Schwellenberg. He is a Sony Cup Series winner. And now, you gotta think that possibly, with the way this team has been going in the last 5 races, can they make a legitimate championship run this season? They're not that far off. However, championship leader Dylan Young extends his championship lead in this round after a fantastic run all race. Let's get you to our finishing results and standings after round 12.